Welcome, everybody.
Am I included in that?
Welcome, Jordan.
Thank you, Katie.
Welcome to Exploragonians, a Travels Misadventures podcast.
And we've already done the intros.
We already said who we were.
So this week, what are we doing?
We are going to the North Umpqua River.
Is that north of where we're at?
Whoa, no.
It's quite south.
I was like,
The North Umpqua is quite south from where we're at.
but it's north to someone.
So it is home to where some of the Umpqua tribe existed at some point. Also Malala tribes, which that has significance to my life.
I was just going to say, and it has like the bougiest, coolest, I don't know, kind of cool hot springs that people are talking about.
I would say not bougie.
It's not bougie
It's
at
naturally
all.
forming. So we go to the Umpqua Hot Springs. We talk about whitewater rafting, and we talk about a little inn that we stumbled upon.
That's so cute, so fun, and what a happy memory.
So please gear up, put on your helmet for whitewater rafting, and thanks for joining us on this episode of Exploragonians, where we go to the North Umpqua River.
Splash.
Splish, splash.
Splish, splash.
I was taking a bath.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So being in a community theater project has a lot of benefits. You know, you can meet people that you never have an opportunity to interact with before. You get to be somebody else. You get to act out different shows and plays. But the added benefit of the one that we do in our hometown of Tillamook is that it is musty.
I thought you were going to say you're famous, because you are.
I am famous. If nobody knows who Jordan Wolfe is, then are you even a person?
Wow.
You're just a goat.
Yes, the old building.
Okay, what was the building before it was a theater, Katie?
It was a tavern. Well, not that I would know. I mean, it's as if I frequented.
You are a pool shark.
I mean, we heard it was pretty cool. But
Was
yes.
it? I've never heard that it was cool.
Yeah, I've heard it was cool. Like,
Okay.
I think a lot of underage kids were served. And I
God.
think upstairs, maybe there was like blackjack tables or something.
You could definitely play cards and earn money or lose lots of money.
Anyway, people were into it, but it went away. And now it houses our community theater.
Which is amazing.
Except for when you're having an allergic reaction to the building. Then it becomes a little less amazing.
Because you are allergic to 2 different types of dust mites. You're allergic to both the European and the American variant.
Don't air my dirty laundry.
Don't air my
allergy,
dust mites.
My allergy list.
I could give more. It's a lot. It's an ever-growing list.
Well, I am not the only person in the cast having an allergic reaction.
And, at least you haven't had one. Knock on wood.
Oh my God.
I don't even think that's wood.
We don't even have any wood in this house.
Oh my God, we're in a concrete house. We're doing this from solitary confinement. Please send money too. Yeah, one of the other actresses is having some pretty severe reactions and had one during the performance. And we were like, oh, she's crying. Oh no.
Anyway, I feel like also what you were experiencing maybe could be the impact of the building and the allergies, but it's also because you're going like 1,000,000%. And I think Jordan is feeling a little bit hoarse.
Well, that's a great. I am a horse in the Chinese zodiac, so I am always feeling a little hoarse.
Wow.
And you're feeling pretty draconic.
Hey, stop talking about me. Anyway, I'm drinking my hot water,
Good for you.
and Jordan is not.
Get those flaps healed.
But you gotta like preserve your voice because we got 2 more performances.
So everyone, thank you so much for listening to this podcast, and we'll see you next week. That's the first time I ever made you laugh. So we're going to ease right into it.
Sure.
4 minutes in.
Yeah.
This week we are going to a place that is a part of like my ancestry, which is kind of weird. Also, anecdotally, it's a part of my ancestry. I don't really have those facts.
I mean, who told you that?
My daddy.
He was like,
It was
"This is part of our."
This is part of our. My dad talks like this.
He
He's
does.
from Oregon.
Yeah, we don't know why.
I think I know why. Probably some blows to the head.
Oh my God! All right.
So we're gonna check out a place that we went to on this like really fun semi spur of the moment trip that Katie surprised me with for my birthday a couple years ago. and that was to go on the North Umpqua River along the Rogue Umpqua Scenic Byway, east of Roseburg.
I was just going to say outside of Roseburg. So great.
So, to gear up for this trip, it's my birthday. I am in the throes of like a really terrible job at the newspaper where it's just kicking my ass. Katie whisks me away. I'm able to get a couple days off. I do all my duties at the newspaper, and we run away. Katie blindfolds me. Again, we live in the northwestern part of Oregon.
This is before I realized your brain's always going, and I didn't realize I needed to like cover your head to really.
You thought blindfolding me would disorient me?
I thought you were going to close your eyes and just kind of like enjoy the drive.
You blindfolded me. My eyes were closed. I wasn't like peeking out of the bottom like
I
a
just
9-year-old.
feel like if I was blindfolded, I'd be like, okay. I mean, I'm just gonna be like, I'm along for the journey. Things are out of my control, but I feel like you're trying to dissect it and be like, okay, what's our location? Where's the location of the sun? What's the breeze? What's the like? I don't know. Anyway, so Jordan apparently figured out where we were.
I knew immediately that we're going south. I guess it sounds like you're like a bird. Like if someone puts like a blanket over you, you're like, "Oh, time to go to bed."
That's right. I just accept, and I'm just,
Is that why
I'm
you sleep?
totally present.
That's nice. I am too. I'm just present, but also
Not-
my cogs are turning.
But also not.
My cogs are turning.
And yes, maybe that is why I sleep with the covers over my head,
Yeah, because then.
like the birds.
So I realize we're going south. That's all I know. You surprised me by going to my favorite coffee shop in the world. I mean, our new favorite coffee shop is our kitchen. But at this point, it was this one in Hebo, and they gave me the best blended mocha ever. We go on the trip. We stay the night in Florence, but the next day we drive again, and I'm like, I don't know where we're going. You don't blindfold me again, though.
Right, because I already know that you don't know where you are. Like I know
Well, I
that
know
you're-
I'm in Florence.
Right, but it's like out of your comfort zone. You have no idea, so I'm confident.
Anything south of Newport, I'm like, I don't know where I am. That'll be dragons.
So we drive to Roseburg.
Drive through, but you're taking me on like I think we head over. We don't head east from Florence. I think we go east from Reedsport, which is further south from Florence. And I think we're taking like the scenic ways. I think you're gonna murder me at some point.
Windy backwards. I'm like, well, Jordan, you've had enough birthdays.
This is your last one.
Why is this getting dark?
Well, it's not. Well, because it's near Halloween. It's spooky season.
Should we put our pumpkins out?
Was that a euphemism? So you keep driving. We're in Roseburg. I'm now very confused about what we're doing because Roseburg doesn't have a lot. It does have a cool movie theater.
Yeah.
And a McMenamins.
I feel like we enjoyed putzing around Roseburg. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about.
No, we're not. So now that we're 45 minutes into this episode, we're going to tell you about what this episode is about. So we go east of Roseburg. We go up along the North Umpqua River. I don't know where the South Umpqua River is. I just know about the North.
No, it doesn't count.
You dropped the bomb on me that you're taking me to do something that I had always wanted to do, but I'd never done at that point, which was ellipses.
I was taking Jordan whitewater rafting.
Which, super cool. Also, Katie has a quirk where she a compound word, like maybe you put the emphasis on a different part. Like instead of saying hash brown, you say hash brown. Instead of whitewater rafting, it was whitewater rafting.
Because I'm fun.
You are fun. So you're taking me whitewater rafting. I had never, ever been. I thought it sounded super cool, always. But, you know, where we live in Oregon, there's not, I mean, our rivers are pretty chill. They're not like whitewater. They're just water.
Totally.
They're clear water.
I mean, someone's probably whitewater rafting.
I mean, you could raft, but you probably would just look like Huck Finn, like going down the Mississippi. Like,
I mean, sounds fun. Okay. So we show up because I feel like I had to hurry up and get us there because you didn't know where we were going. I did, kind of. And then we had to be there. I mean, there was a time crunch, right? There was like, you have to be there by this specific time.
Because I found out, sadly, we weren't doing the full day. We were doing the half day.
Yeah. What of it?
Well, I mean, I feel like...
You know what?
After seeing that crew, they probably could have benefited from the full day Jordan.
I feel like it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, sure, reflecting now, I mean, if we were to do it now, we could do a full day, but I feel like
you don't think
you needed to ease into it.
Oh.
I knew a half day was going to be enough.
Baby couldn't do a full day. It was his birthday. So
we had other shit to do, okay?
So I'm elated. I'm stoked. I don't really know much about the North Umpqua River. Apparently, it is a really good place for whitewater rafting. There's some pretty cool rapids down there. So we hang out at like Horseshoe Bend State Park along the North Umpqua. So at this point, we've driven like an hour east of Roseburg. And what's really cool about the highway that takes you up there, it's a part of the Rogue Umpqua Scenic Byway, but it's also just like Highway 138. It does have a nickname. Do you know what that nickname is?
Windy Way.
It is Windy Way. No. Some people nickname it the Highway of Waterfalls.
Oh.
I mean,
well,
what do you remember about that drive?
I do not remember a bunch of waterfalls, but
I think you
that's
got to get off the highway.
right, which we didn't because we were focused on getting to our whitewater rafting.
So what I liked about that drive is I do think it was like a windy road all along the river, and you just get these really gorgeous views of it. And there was, I mean, you're in the forest because it is a part of the, eventually it butts up against the Umpqua National Forest.
Right.
And so, I mean, it is just like green and spectacular. Apparently the North Umpqua is a really good place for fishing, probably a little bit more so several decades ago than now.
It's a beautiful area, and I think, I mean, we were there for such a short amount of time, which I feel like we've talked about this with a lot of trips where like we were just barely there. But it's true because I mean, there's a lot to check out.
But I think because we've been able to do like a breadth of things, and the benefit of that is like we've done like smorgasbord taster trays. And that is a style of travel, and I think it helps us know where we might want to put more energy next time. But like I said, like with Baker City, we had a really good time there several years ago. We go back a few years later, the vibe's completely different. You're like, well, made a mistake.
Stop talking about these other places.
So we pull over. I think the Outfitters are there. I'm going to give them a shout out. I think it's like the North Umpqua Outfitters or something is their name. They're super good. They know that river very well. And I think we had Bill was our guide. Pretty sure he was the owner.
He had his stuff together. He knew all the ins and outs. And I think that, I mean, yeah, after being with him for a half a day, I feel like that was probably like, oh, well, we should have done the full day because he was so knowledgeable and like, we were like really safe. It was interesting. I've never been on a raft. So I have been whitewater rafting before.
We weren't on a raft. We were on a cataraft, which I think is catamaran raft is my portmanteau, like, guess. Anyway, so you've been whitewater rafting.
And this is my first time doing it with
a guide.
Oh, wow. There was so
you
there
just
was
put
a
a
group
raft
of
in the water.
There was a group of like 4 other adults maybe.
Well, in the raft, I think everyone was like retired.
Yeah.
And some of them were not pulling their weight.
I was going to say that was the first time that I was on a raft that somebody wasn't like participating. They were just going along for the ride. And I think she had like had surgery or something. There was a reason
she had a
why
very good excuse.
Right, why she couldn't do it. But I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." And so it was like, I think we were on her side where it's like, "Make sure you're..."
We were the front too. They put us in the front because it was my birthday.
But I mean where it's like, oh, the like, she's going to need more help on this side.
Right.
So
and
I
do think they put me on that side because we were side by side. And I remember being like, I think Bill at one point was like, come on, birthday boy. Like, I do think I was being coached. But see, I was really impressed. Like, the guide is in this like, I mean, was this like when you went? I mean, our guide was like kind of sitting on like a dais, like in the back of the cataract, like kind of lording over everyone.
I mean, this was more of like a souped up. I mean, I feel like we were in a fancy ship. Ship of a raft.
A ship? It was the yachts of rafts.
I mean, it was pretty legit versus some like kind of cheapo like
inflatable raft.
Right.
Well, what were you on when you went whitewater rafting? And also, where is my follow-up question?
It might have been in Colorado.
Okay.
I think I've done it a couple times.
Was it along the Colorado River?
Don't ask me these tough questions. Just
okay,
know I've
so
been. I've been multiple times.
Oh, must be nice.
Must be nice. It is nice. That's why I wanted to do it with you.
It was so fun, and I didn't realize how exhausting it was. Because I think eventually, however long our half day was only like, because I wrote a column about it in the newspaper, and I called it 180 minutes on the Umpqua.
Ooh.
So, I don't know, however many hours 180 is.
I don't do math.
We don't do that here. 3 hours? Sure. So, yeah, so when we get suited up, Bill like has us put our stuff. Like, I guess Bill wasn't doing it. It was somebody else. And so we're getting outfitted. We get our booties. We get a helmet. We get, our
Like a rain jacket.
well, I think just not rain jacket, probably just like like a slicker type thing, just like.
But see, I don't think that I have experienced that before. I don't feel like you always get gear, so that was nice.
You went fully nude, no guide, in your inflatable Huck Finn raft. Because Huck Finn, famously, as Mark Twain wrote, had an inflatable raft.
That's right.
The helmet I was a little nervous. I was like, why do I need a helmet? Am I going to fall out and bunk my head?
Yeah, I just think he was being really proactive, and that was good. But people do fly out of boats and stuff, and especially when you're rafting. And so it's just, this is good. I'm like, protect your noggin.
Which, I mean, when we're there and we were going down the North Umpqua, like the parts of the river that we were on, I mean, they weren't like super wide. Like we've been on much wide. I think the Nehalem is a much wider river. But yeah, the North Umpqua, I mean, but there were like so many rock outcroppings and the river does wind quite a bit. And yeah, that water was just flowing. So we went through, so I found out about rapids that there's like.
So we were there in June, just.
Because my birthday's in June. Huh?
Great.
So there's 6 different styles of rapids or 6 classifications. Do you know how many numbers they go to, rapids?
Is it 5?
Well, they go to 6, but if you are a class 6 rapid, they declare that as unnavigable.
Yeah.
Navigable.
Okay.
So you do not do a class 6 rapid. So I think the most that we did is we hit some 3s. I think some of them, depending on the weather or the conditions, are class 4. Mm-hmm. So class 3 is considered difficult, and you probably need a very experienced guide to like navigate through them. And I do remember a couple of those class 3 rapids that we went through were pretty intense. Like, pretty wild. And what I didn't realize is that they named the rapids. Mm-hmm. So here's some of the names that we went through on the North Umpqua. We hit the Eiffel Tower. We hit ping pong. Mm-hmm. We hit toilet bowl.
Oh.
Yeah. So I remember Bill at one point yelled, like, get ready for Eiffel Tower, birthday boy.
That was good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, or he'd be like, here comes ping pong. And we're like, I don't know what that means.
Sounds like we got smacked around.
I definitely feel like we got smacked around because he did take pictures at some point. And then, we do have a photo that we'll share. But, I mean, it's just, you can tell it's 2 humans. You can't tell it's us. But we're just, like, drenched in water, just absolutely soaked.
I do feel like when you do whitewater rafting, it's kind of like life on the edge. You're like, am I going to survive this? I don't know. I always just feel like it's kind of like near-death experience.
Which you are kind of into.
I am. So I don't know what's up with that.
You're just like a thrill seeker.
I was just born that way. Baby.
Well, what else? I mean, is there another type of like whitewater rafting you'd like to do? Another place?
Nope.
Okay.
We're
We've
only talking about North Umpqua.
So yeah, we're doing that. I am worried I'm gonna fall out initially. But then partway through, I'm like, oh, I'm so confident.
Do you have floaties? I mean, are you a good swimmer?
Do I have floaties? Am I a good swimmer? I think we have like we must have life vests on
I'm sure
at
we
this
do.
point.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be able to, I'd like to believe I'd be able to swim. I did get stuck in some rapids at a family reunion outside of Waldport with me and Gerald. We were like, let's hold on to rocks and feel the rapids. And then he was like, why don't we let go? And then I let go, and I looked up, and Gerald held on. And then I just got churned about. Yeah, it was pretty rough.
This is it's growing pains with cousins that'll kill you.
Also, being like 9 years old and unsupervised in a river. Wah, wah. So the group that we were with, like we had, I don't know, 5 or 6 other people in the cataract with us. But then there were like 2 inflatable kayaks with like dudes. I don't know if they're like their husbands or other people. So they were just like going along with us.
Right. They were like, we're not into the rafting. We're into kayaks.
Yeah, they were going like so much harder.
Yeah. I forgot about them.
And I remember like one of them like really struggling to like navigate through, and Bill was like, coaching them through, and like he had confidence that they would be able to make it. But I was like, Jesus.
I think we enjoy kayaking, but I don't know that I would want to kayak that.
I think I would. I think that would be pretty fun.
Okay, I'll do.
Because I think it's more like, whitewater rafting, you are a participant, but you're not the one like calling the shots, leading the way, right? Like Bill, okay, again, like when you're the guide, and I don't know if
Right.
this is common for all whitewater rafting, but he had these like two massive oars. Like he was just like,
No, he was definitely in charge, and we were helping, we were assisting.
right.
But I think that's what I like, where it's like there's too much pressure. I'm like, oh my god, can I navigate this? Which maybe if we did it more often, I would get to a point. But in this moment, I'm like, I need the guidance.
So what was something that was a highlight from that whitewater, that time whitewater rafting?
Well, I mean, I think the initial, like, where you get drenched and you're like, oh my god, that was so crazy, so scary, so fun. And then you're just in it. And I think sharing that with you and yeah, for you to finally be able to experience it, I just think we had a lot of fun.
Well, what made you choose the North Umpqua River? I mean, you can't whitewater the Willamette.
I mean,
You can tube the Willamette.
this is a good question. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just chose it because
that's
how I do.
It was a good choice. Your intuition, another fine example of your intuition.
Just kind of open the map and
How about
point.
that river? So afterwards, we do this again for some amount of time, 180 minutes, however many hours that is.
Well, what was your highlight?
My highlight was, again, it was just like, it was really fun to get a different view of that point of nature, to be able to just like not coast, but just like fly down the river and just see like the forest go by, really appreciate the power of a river. Because we're like, I associate us more as like ocean folk, again, we're so close to it. And my dad was more of like a river rat. And I do think a lot of people where we live associate more with like rivers to recreate or to, fish, whatever, people do at rivers. So
I know, we totally do not.
So it was good. Well, I mean, rivers, it's just like, oh, don't you know my secret river spot? Where it's like, oh, here's the beach.
I know.
So I feel like that's more indicative of like, oh, well, river, you got to like put a little more effort into it. But it was nice to just have that view. But again, like I was saying at the top of the show, my dad had told me that like we have native history. Like if you look at my father's side of the family, like you would be like, objectively be like, this guy is mostly non-white. He looks Native American. I did not get any of those genes. I am pretty Germanic. But my dad had told me that, we had ties to the Umpqua people. And there are several bands of different Umpqua tribes. One was like Cow Creek Band or something. But there's several bands. And so to be on the river and to hear our guide Bill talk about how there was like some ancestral like fishing spot that the Umpqua would be on, that was like really special for me. Thinking that like, maybe I had like roots in this area. Or talking about the different flora and fauna in the area. He pointed out where like some of the forest fires had recently burned. So we did get like those kinds of views. So it was like really touching for me. Again, it's hard because like I don't have any proof that I'm like related to the Umpqua tribe. I just have it anecdotally. We literally just watched a movie last night where the main character thought she was Chinese, and surprise, surprise, she's Korean. And you're like, oh, well, everything I know is a lie.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, it was just cool to be like, oh, is this like my ancestral home? Just like trying to like seek for like some part of your identity.
Well, I'm happy we were able to do that. And yeah, that we had a guide that was able to even point that stuff out.
I mean, Bill was grizzled. Like, I would follow Bill to the ends of the earth and be like, this guy's going to keep me safe. So afterwards, we get done with our whitewater rafting, and we are toast. Like, we are exhausted.
And he wanted to do the full day.
I did.
Yeah, the half day, I just feel like, your body's tired. We were just baking under the sun. I mean, yeah, working hard. I mean, you're pretty active for those 3 hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, we make it. We survive.
We don't dump out. Nobody dumps out.
I know.
Which, that's so nice.
I've dumped out before.
Oh, really?
I don't even enjoy that phrase.
Dump out? It's probably not the proper whitewater phrase. I would like to go whitewater rafting again. That would be really fun.
We'll call Bill.
I don't have Bill's number. I could write Bill. So we get done. We realize that we are like, we're mostly like, this scenic byway is like pretty remote. It's not like things aren't readily available. I don't really think we brought snacks. Maybe we brought some snacks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that we have a lot going on, but we have enough.
Right.
We have some small stuff, but we're close to the hot springs, the Umpqua Hot Springs.
I don't know, is infamous the right term for these hot springs?
Yes.
I think I think they often get billed as like the marquee hot springs in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree to that?
I agree. I think that there's a lot of hubbub about it.
Hubbub. Lots of hype. So we're like, I think it's an additional like half hour. So we still have to drive like further east. And we're like, oh, well, should we do that? I think at this point, we're not quite sure like what we're doing tonight, if we're going to like make it back home or what we're up to. I think we still feel energized enough to go check it out. So we drive up to like the forest road.
Well, yeah, we got your birthday energy.
Yeah, man. The power of the solstice.
Okay.
So we drive up there. I think it's like a little more than a half-mile hike to get up there. But you also have to pay like a $5, like, I don't know if it's like the Forest Service.
Yeah, yeah.
So we pay that. I don't know if you probably do it online, now we're in the future.
Now. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So thankfully we scrounge up $5, we pay, and we hike up. We have towels, so like we have stuff to go, and we're already in our like swim trunks.
I think I planned on.
Did you think we were going to go to the Umpqua Hot Springs?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, aren't you cool? So we hike up there, and so the thing about the Umpqua Hot Springs is that I think it gets billed as being like so beautiful because it like overlooks the river and you're like amidst the forest. And it is like a pretty steep gradient that these hot springs are were formed because they're all natural. All like, I think there's like 7 or 8 pools.
Right.
I think there's like a pit toilet. But they had like, we didn't go into this one, but they have like a wooden like gazebo structure over one of the pools.
Oh, I feel like my memory of that was it was busy. There was, a decent amount of people, and there was like party vibes, right?
Right.
And you're like, oh, and then, just with things, when there's like a lot of people and there's a lot of garbage and there's just like a lot of.
Do you remember a lot of garbage?
I remember some garbage. Whether that is on purpose or not, right? I think a lot of times people are like in such a hurry and then like garbage falls out. And
Oh no, my Oreo wrappers!
Stuff like that. And then it's like, right, is somebody else going to clean it up? Anyway, but yeah, so it's like how the pools are. It's like the pools at the top are the hottest. And then as they cascade down, they get cooler. And I think everybody was in the hot pools and nobody was in the cool pools. So in my memory, we start kind of at the lower pools.
Do we go? I don't think we go down all the way to like the bottommost one.
No.
Yeah, I definitely feel like we start like halfway.
We're like, oh, how about this lukewarm pool?
Right. And the water, like, it's like murky. It is interesting. It is kind of like difficult to like walk around.
I feel like it was really muddy.
Right. It's like a lot of water up there or something.
Right.
It's crazy. But I remember like the pools themselves like had kind of like a silty, sandy bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I also have just reading like one of the biggest criticisms about the Umpqua Hot Springs is like just the amount of trash. And it's sad that like this is just an ongoing thing that people are just aware that like if you go to the Umpqua Hot Springs, it's just going to be like, be aware there's trash. And like no one's really doing much more about that.
Spearheading this problem.
Right.
But this is my pet peeve with like society right now is I just feel like it's like, oh, this is a problem, but it's not my problem to fix, and I'm not going to. Somebody else is going to do that, or
that's so nice of that other person.
Somebody else should take care of that or should do something, and it's like, why somebody else and not you? And I'm also talking to you and I right now. It's just like, we all need to do our part, and yeah, we need your participation.
So the hot springs, like the hottest one, I think it can get up to like 115 degrees is what I had read. And so it registers as one of like the hottest hot springs in Oregon.
I remember it being pretty hot when I was like, whoa.
Nice and toasty on a hot summer day.
Because I feel like there was a group of people and they vacated and we were finally like, okay, let's go. And so like you and I jump in there and it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there alone for a while. And
Which
I think
was nice.
It was nice. It was so nice that Jordan had to get in his birthday suit.
Hey, so it was my birthday.
Yeah, we
The
got it.
Umpqua Hot Springs is clothing optional. And so the water was murky. I was like, no one's going to. So I was like, you know what I could do? And I felt pretty empowered.
Yeah, it's good.
But then we're joined by somebody else who it was also her birthday. And we were like, well, and then she got into her birthday suit. And so.
Well, I don't think we were like, well, like if you're gonna be here, you got to be in your birthday
No,
suit.
no.
She was like, oh, it's your birthday and you're in your birthday suit, and then I feel like she was like, oh yeah, maybe I should do that.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you changed it because it definitely sounded like we were pressuring people.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey.
take it off.
No.
I mean, I didn't love being naked in the hot springs.
No.
But also, I think it's just because, like, you know, I have my own, like, sort of, like, body dysmorphia going on.
I just think it was just a weird vibe. I feel like we were there to relax and some people were there to party. And you're like, all right. I think it was good. But after we were joined in the pool, I feel like we didn't hang out very long. It was
Yeah.
like, all right. And I think we're good.
I mean, how long do you think we were there? Half hour? Like, I feel like we didn't, like, chill that long.
no, I was definitely less than an hour.
And I
but-
just feel like it was hard because, like, you know, the vibe was interesting. And I do think that is something, some other criticism I've read is, like, you know, the vibe can be, like, kind of a party atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
But I was happy we went. It was probably good to soak our muscles a little bit.
Oh, my God.
And so then we did this little hike to get there and then leaving. And then
Well, and then at this point, we are legitimately starving. We're like, we have to find sustenance somewhere. And I'm not in the mood to go forage.
and I'm like, I guess we had cell service or maybe we were just driving. Like
I honestly think we were just driving and drove by the Steamboat Inn.
and I think they had an open sign and it was just like restaurant. And so we
Yep.
just like pull over. I think we went straight to the restaurant. But
I have zero expectation of this remote, you know, riverside inn that's promoting food. I'm just like,
Okay, anything. A ham sandwich. Ham and cheese if you got it.
so yeah, we stumble in. They seat us immediately. It smells good. I feel like I'm drooling on myself. And we order our food. We order a birthday cocktails too.
wow.
And then the food was fantastic. And the service was awesome. I feel like everyone was like super friendly. It was weird because we're like, again, we are like in the middle of nowhere. Like, I'm like, where do these people live? Do you commute an hour from Roseburg? Like, what is happening out here?
That's right. It's a little secret spot. Yeah, it was very positive. And so
So positive, in fact.
we decided that we would like to stay there if they had a room. And guess what? They did.
But so this Steamboat Inn, I think they had like, they do cabins. They have these like itty bitty like room type things. I'm not quite sure like if the inn itself, like with the restaurant portion had rooms. Did it?
I don't know, but I almost feel like in my memory, they were booked, except they had.
Oh, maybe like one cabin left.
They had one cabin that they would rent out to us.
And I was like, it's my birthday. And I think gave us a huge discount.
They gave us this like special private suite thing that was pretty legit.
And it came with a complimentary bottle of vino.
Oh wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like beautiful views. It's like you weren't like sharing anything with anyone. There's like these like windows. It's like
We had a porch. Again,
jetted tub that was like right by the window.
we're like in the forest. I mean, you can see the North Umpqua River like from the windows of this place. I mean, probably one of like the nicer. I mean, still it's like kind of a rustic-ish cabin, but like okay, it wasn't that rustic.
No, but it was. I know what you're saying. Like it wasn't like it wasn't super bougie. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
the
it was,
things that they were splurging on, like, you know, the bathtub was really nice. I think it was just like really intentional how they kind of designed it. And then that little like porch area, I think we had like, you know, like a French press or something. I think we had coffee.
And I was like, did we have a kitchen? We just had like a
I
living
think there
room with
was
like
a kitchenette kind of thing.
which obviously we weren't using because we had nothing. But
No.
there was like a fireplace.
Could have foraged. See, there was opportunity. There was a fireplace, and they had like pre-built a fire ready to go. So all you
Yeah.
had to do was just like light it. How nice.
No,
How friendly.
this is one of your best birthdays.
I know. Thank you so much. What a gal.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, it was so serene. And obviously, we had the benefit of getting like a late check-in, last-minute room. I think at this point it is like late, like early evening, late afternoon.
Yeah,
like it is
yeah.
getting fairly late. So I mean, were we able to like really appreciate the area that we were in to its fullest extent? No. But were we able to like just really be able to go out on the porch and just like breathe in this like forest air and like listen to the river? Yes. Was
Well,
that
and like the
fantastic?
next morning and all that. I mean, obviously we got a late checkout.
Obviously. It was a place that offered you robes, and the robes were kind of nice.
I think the Steamboat Inn was a very positive experience. And so if you're in that area and you have the opportunity to check it out.
Always ask for a discount, but I feel like I checked rooms fairly pricey. I was like, whoa, I can't afford that. But they had like a little library. You go check out books or board games. I forced you to play some funky card game.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday.
I mean, I enjoy. Thank you for doing that for me. And then, yeah, just like wandering around this area. And it reminded me of like our time in the Benbow Inn in like Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
And just like that kind of rustic forested inn, I guess, is a vibe that I really am into.
Well, I think like inns, do have more personalities. It's like you're staying at. It's like there is like a difference, right? You're like, oh, a motel versus a hotel versus an inn versus a B&B versus whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very cute.
So I wanted to find out a little more about like the history of the Steamboat Inn, and so something I was read was like, it was a star-studded history, and I was like, I don't know what that means. So eventually, I navigate on their website because they did get new owners as of like 2017. So we had new ownership within like they'd only taken it over like a year when we were staying there.
Oh.
And so I don't know if there's been like other ownership changes since then, but that was the most current one on their history page. And my God, I started reading it, and we were getting so in the weeds. Like we were creating different species of weeds. Like that's how far in the weeds this history thing was going. At one point, I was like, this feels like I've read many, many words, and we're still like in the 1890s or something. I was like, what is happening here? So I scroll down, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. So I'm like, what is it? So I copy and paste all the text into a Word document. It is 14 pages long in a Word document. It was 80 paragraphs. It was 7,000 words detailing in intimate detail everything about the Steamboat Inn. I couldn't possibly read all 7,000 words.
Why not?
Because literacy is not something that I do. Obviously, we're doing a podcast, an audio medium. You're lucky I can talk.
Did you skim it?
Hardly.
Well, what'd you learn?
Not much. I learned, it was, maybe a fishing cabin, and then, they sold it to. I mean, I read. There were so many main characters in this. It felt like I was reading Game of Thrones or something. It was like I needed a genealogical map to detail who had the cabin, who sold it to a friend, but then that friend sold it to a friend, but then he mysteriously died, and then David.
It is a star-studded history.
It sure was. So if you are in the mood to read a very intimate detail of an inn, you are welcome to do that.
Well, that's nice. It's nice to know where we can find it.
So, yeah, it was just like a really positive memory. And then afterwards, we geared up and we kind of took our time driving back home. Again, driving like an hour back west along this scenic byway. But the North Umpqua, so Umpqua, that word kind of pops up in several different places. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's a line of ice cream.
Whoa.
I'm just saying that we've taken this word from this people,
mm-hmm.
but it has a few different translations. So, did you happen to look up what any of what Umpqua might mean?
No, and I feel like that was an obvious thing to look up, and I didn't. So let's hear it.
So I think there's not a definitive translation. So there's a few. So one is place along the river. That one's kind of lame. There is thundering water, which I did quite like. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, yeah. The other one was dancing water.
Hmm.
So it means one of those or none of those.
Wow. Well, who did you get that from?
Several sources.
Hmm.
I didn't talk to a person.
So, but the Umpqua people, because it's like where they kind of, I mean, obviously everybody's not gobbled up, but you're like forced to.
I'm not sure. I should have looked it up. I'm not sure if the Umpqua are like their own like confederated tribes or if they've like joined in with like another one.
Hmm.
But again, like with my own history, I'm not sure, which isn't great.
Well, so I mean, you kind of touched on it, but like, right? Why aren't you sure what your history is?
Well, because anecdotally, my family like had some sort of historical records of like my tribal heritage. But quote unquote, it went up in flames before I was born. Like something happened and they lost all these records. I don't know.
Yeah. So that has been the story, and so that is too bad because it's like, do you feel kind of like disconnected?
Well, right. I mean, when I was remember like going through school, I remember like having to do like, standardized tests, and it's like, what's your race? White, da na 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 na. And I remember like for several years, I'd be like Native American, and I was like, well, kinda.
Right.
But I think my dad's, I don't know. I think different percentages are thrown out. But we did do like one of those send in your spit swab. And
Yours is not zero. I mean, mine is like all like concentrated in like one area. Jordan is way more.
in what area is that,
worldly?
Katie?
You know,
Northern
already.
Europe,
Yeah,
you fair-skinned Viking.
I know. Like no pigmentation going on.
Yeah, mine was more Heinz 57. Mine was the world. It was like, oh,
Yeah,
cool.
that's nice.
It's always nice to be a mutt. So yeah, it's hard to feel like, there is a possibility to have more like connection with like tribal heritage. But like talking to our other friends, what's up, Sarah and David, who actually are like registered with
the tribe.
tribes. Like, there's like this other whole like rabbit hole you can go down that you have to navigate of like, what's your blood quantum? I don't really even know what that means. It just sounds like whatever your blood percentage is, you can be in a tribe, which becomes kind of strange.
Well, I mean, I think that there's probably a lot that people don't realize what goes into, joining the tribe, or like all these kind of hoops you have to go through, and even though their children are native and native on both sides, like they've had problems kind of getting their
Blood quantum.
yeah. Anyway, so I mean, it's not just like you go to the tribe and you're like, I'm native, and they're like, okay,
You sure are.
here's all these benefits,
Yeah.
So
yeah, so that was so thank you, Katie, for giving me an opportunity to like at least, feel for a second, even if it was like kind of pretending that I was like in touch with my roots.
doesn't have to be pretending.
So, okay, so we head back home and we take time to like get more views of the North Umpqua River. We stop by and have like photo shoots on like, these like cool bridges.
Yeah.
I'm reflecting on the outfit that I wore.
Yeah.
Such a mistake. I mean, I look like a dad getting ready to go to a picnic.
That was the aesthetic.
Not even in like a cool way.
Your mom got you that shirt.
I think, well, yeah, she did. I was going to say she was going to wear those shorts, but she didn't. I also think she got me those shoes. My mom dressed me for far too long. I think I took pieces of what she would give me. I'm like, I can implement this into my wardrobe. But yeah, this one, I was excited about it, but it didn't age well.
It's just a part of growth.
You're so cute in every picture. And then sometimes I'm like, Jordan, why did you make this choice? And you're just this strange spectator just watching it all unfold. So we have really cool pictures of us, but I wish I could, maybe I'll Photoshop me into a different outfit.
Just enjoy the journey.
Yeah, exactly. Just like going down our whitewater rafting trip.
For a half a day.
So, okay, so if we go back to this North Umpqua River area, what would you like to do?
Well, clearly a full day.
You just want to like kick my butt some more.
Yeah. And my own. I obviously want to check out more waterfalls.
Well,
And by more, any.
When you go up the road to go to the Umpqua Hot Springs, there is like the Tokatee Falls. Like that's in that area. And I think had we not been starving, we were going to check it out because I think it's like
Yeah.
a 2-tier waterfall. So I think it is like an interesting waterfall.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we could just like camp and just check out that area. I mean, I just remember it just being really, obviously, it's very forested and very beautiful. And I think just not being so pressed for time.
Right, because we did have to get back so I could keep doing my journalism here
Mhm.
in rural Oregon.
What about you?
Well, I think we've learned that we do love a scenic byway. Like, and that's not like an actual like designated scenic byway, like, you know, the Elkhorn or
Right.
this one.
Right.
We did, I don't know, like a third of it. It would be interesting to do the entire circuit because it goes all the way east, I think near Diamond Lake. And then it cuts south along the Rogue River. And then it kind of does, it's like a weird, like, not horseshoe, but kind of like number 7. So it's like a strange kind of scenic byway. And it's near, I think it ends near like one of the side roads that you can use to get to like Crater Lake.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the area that we're in. So I think I'd like to complete that entire road. That would be cool. I would like to do like a full day whitewater rafting. That sounds very, very fun. And I would like to say the steamboat again.
Yeah.
Even though they call it the Steamboat Inn and it's near or on Steamboat Creek, there's no evidence of a steamboat ever being on those waters. Because it couldn't survive. They're like, no, you couldn't put a steamboat here. Even if you wanted to, it'd be destroyed.
It's such a cute name.
Steamboat.
Doot doot.
So, yeah, I think we would pretty much do the trip that we did, just like amplify it and take more time to appreciate it.
Yeah, it was fun to remember this. Remember the good times.
It was good, and it was so good to remember that we forced that person to get naked in a hot spring.
Wow, really forced him.
So did you? Okay, so back to the hot spring. So do you enjoy hot springs? Just like the idea of like going and sitting in like this like geothermal water.
I think as per usual, I enjoy the idea. I do enjoy the idea of a hot spring, but what ruins it for me is other people because I love people, but I think sometimes I'm bothered by people and it's hard for me to block others out. And so it does impact my own experience and my own ability to just enjoy what I'm doing. So if I could block people out, I probably wouldn't have a problem.
So I'm hearing we need to put a blanket over you. Why is that girl asleep in the hot spring?
Just blocking everybody out.
I also think I enjoy the idea more than maybe the execution. And maybe it's just because you and I kind of exist in our own bubble sometimes. And I think we've gotten a lot better at being more gregarious and kind of chatting up people a little bit more.
But I also feel like sometimes people don't want to chat, right?
That's
You're like,
true.
they're going to relax. And I think...
And then you touch their toes with your toes in the hot spring. And you're like, oof.
So... I mean, yeah, I'll just stick to my
Your bathtub?
my evening baths.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, it is. I mean, just in terms of like geology, it is like super impressive that these things exist.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate them. But right, do I feel like I need to go and publicly bathe?
and for us, like, you know, from where we are sitting right now, I mean, that is like over a 4-hour drive to go to the Umpqua Hot Springs. So you got to make it worth it. I mean, if they were like 45 minutes away, I feel like we would probably go more regularly.
Maybe, but
But you got a bathtub, so why? Well, Katie, I just want to thank you again for this like birthday trip that you took me on several years ago that I think, you know, we have kind of like not forgotten about, but we're like, oh, you know, that was a thing that happened. But like to really revisit it. And even though it was just a couple days, I mean, it did have, I mean, the things that you were able to take me to experience were just like so sensational, like whitewater rafting, getting naked in a hot spring, and just like the natural forming hot springs, because we've been to places like that utilize hot spring water. But I think this was the first time I went to a natural forming hot spring and just hung out like a monkey.
yeah.
So, yeah, it was a great birthday.
Aw, for a great person.
Shucks.
Well, this has been fun. But shall we go somewhere else now?
We probably should. Do you know where we're going?
I do.
Oh, dang. Yo's eyebrows popped up.
I don't know if I'm ready to go there.
Okay. Is it Funky Town?
It's not. It's an island.
Oh, is it Australia?
It's somewhere I've been and you haven't.
Oh, it's the Galapagos! Okay, do you actually want to do that?
Do you want to do it?
Of course I want to do it.
Well, then I guess we're doing it.
Looks like you're doing some research, babe.
It looks like it.
All right, well, we are going to go explore Darwinism next week. So everyone put on your favorite, I don't know what Darwin wore, like a 10-gallon hat. Put on a 10-gallon hat, some birthday boots, and we'll see you next week.
Or your birthday suit. Whoa.